Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. So we're going to continue our car reviews today and get all of the new Porsches out of the way. This time we're going to be reviewing the Porsche 959, perhaps one of the most legendary Porsches ever made. For many years it was all about the 959 and the F40 hitting that 200-mile-an-hour barrier, and in my opinion, whilst the F40 is a timeless classic, so is the 959. An absolutely beautiful, fantastic machine, but let's see how it is in GT7. So if you want to buy it, it is currently in the Legends dealership for 1.75 million credits. Although its performance figures might not look too crazy compared to today's standards, putting out 443 brake horsepower, weighing 1,450 kilograms, that turbo as well as its four-wheel drive system makes this a very quick car, even compared to today's cars. Certainly I'd recommend picking one up as soon as you can. However, we're going to review it in its standard form first. If you've never joined me for a car review, we basically take it around for a hot lap of the Nordschleife, see where it ranks on a hot lap leaderboard, and I'll give you a review of the out of the box version. Then we heavily modify it and take it around the high speed ring and do the same thing again and see where it ranks there. So let's talk about the stock version of the 959. Is it any good? Is it any good to drive? Does it feel good? Is the performance still there today? And in my opinion, yes it is. It's a fantastic driver's car, a lot like most of the Porsches in Gran Turismo 7, but in my opinion this is a very special Porsche. Whilst it keeps the frog front headlights, that I like to call them, but it also has a completely different styling model to it that really separates it from any of the 911s or really anything of the time. It just feels so unique in terms of Porsche designs, and I really like it. So the looks are there, but is the performance still there in terms of Gran Turismo 7? And in all honesty, I'd say yes, it is a very good car to drive overall. In terms of its top speed, it is going to be hitting some very high speeds on the big straights. However, I feel like through the corners, this is a fantastic machine, massively helped by that four-wheel drive system. It feels fantastic to throw it into corners, and on exit it feels like it accelerates so quickly in comparison to other cars of this time period. It's definitely a different kind of feeling driving this car, and I really cannot complain about it. The only downside I'd realistically say there is to this car in terms of its performance is the brakes. They're a little bit not too good, to be quite honest. They're the only thing really showing the age in this car. It does seem like it takes an absolute fortnight to stop. However, once you kind of get down the whole driving style of this car, it's a fantastic and beautiful machine to throw around pretty much any track in the game. You've got a nice mix of the high speed of this car, as well as being able to tackle some of the more tighter courses due to that four-wheel drive and great driving style. One thing to note as well was something that I noticed during kind of the whole look around the car, playing in VR with it and such, is that the interior in this car just feels quite modern, believe it or not. Although this car was made in 1987 and it might not look too crazy, once you start looking into the dials and all the buttons and kind of the leather padding on the side of the door cards, it really does begin to feel like a very modern supercar. It really doesn't seem, well, very dated at all inside. I honestly think this is a fantastic interior, and whilst it may look quite bland on first inspection, once you start looking at some of these small details, you really start to get this feeling that this was a proper technical piece of equipment, and realistically that's how it feels. Overall it does feel more technical than the F40, however it's just not an F40, but overall the 959, even in its standard form, is a fantastic car, and I recommend anyone picking this thing up. So let's move on and see where it ranks on a hot lap leaderboard. Overall it came 17th in the 600 pp category with a time of 7 minutes 38.153, which is certainly not to be turning your nose up at. It was only around about 4 tenths down on the 911 GT3 from 2009. For some reason, driving this car was an absolute pleasure, and I felt like I was getting the most out of it pretty much all the time. So that is a great time for a car made in 1987. However, we can't leave it there. We're going to have to go for the fully modified version, and I went for a bit of a Ridge Racer Type 4 throwback here. As you can see, this is the 959. It has a few aero options, so you have an extra aero option at the front to put a bit of a lip on it, and you basically have a nice rear spoiler option to basically heighten it and make it more racy. I feel like combined with these two pieces of aero, it honestly feels like a much bigger and wider car, although there is no wide body option for it. Overall, it's a stunning machine, even with the added bits. But how does it perform fully modified? And I'm happy to say it is fantastic. This is a seriously quick car with full upgrades on it, absolutely rocketing down the high speed ring straights and the bankings, and it's very, very stable whilst doing it, and that is certainly testament to the four-wheel drive in this car, although it may seem a bit primitive and a bit dated in comparison to say let's say something like the GTR and such. It will still keep you very, very stable and allow you to get the most out of this machine. It's a seriously quick bit of kit in a straight line, topping out around about the 220 mph mark, and through the corners, again, it's fantastic. It's a bit of a, jack of all trades, even in fully modified trim. I never felt like the car was too much to drive, especially with that four-wheel drive system just helping you the whole time keep this thing on the road, keeping it stable and being able to absolutely throw it through the corners. And overall, it's a fantastic package. This is a bit of a brute of a car in terms of its performance and power output. However, even modified with all the weight chucked out, you can make it a controllable, fast machine, and it's a fantastic car, even fully upgraded. So let's go and see where it ranks on a hot lap leaderboard, because this is where I think this car is going to excel. Overall, it comes in 8th place, just a bit slower than the Nissan Z Performance from 2023, as well as the massively horse-powered Skyline R32 and such. Overall, this is a beast of a machine. The only thing really letting it down was those brakes yet again, which is the only realistic downside of this car when it's fully built. So a time of 1:06.367 puts it overall 8th on our lap time leaderboard, faster than the Cayman as well. So there we have it. That is my review of the Porsche 959 within Gran Turismo 7. Is it worth that money, that 1.75 million? In my opinion, yes. This is a bit of automotive history. This is one of the original record breaker cars that tried to push that 200-mile-an-hour barrier along with the Ferrari F40. And in my opinion, if you're going to get one, you've really got to get the other. They are both fantastic machines. The 959, for different reasons, feels definitely more track-based, whereas the F40 is just absolutely beautiful and sounds incredible. I can't really complain. The 959 is a fantastic addition to Gran Turismo 7. That's going to be it from me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. I upload GT7 content each and every day for your viewing pleasure. I'll see you all in the next one. I'll have a money method up for this car later. Take care, guys. Peace.